Goose and the moorhens. Early on a bright November morning, the moorhens were looking for food on the near side of the lake where Joan had been feeding the ducks. The moorhens usually went to the food trays after the ducks had finished their breakfast. But on this morning, the geese had driven the ducks from the food trays and were the first to have their breakfast. Gracie the moorhen was very unhappy at the situation she found herself in, and said to the goose called Simon, "Why are you eating my breakfast?" Simon replied, "Because I am a large bird and need to eat a lot of food." "But you can eat cabbage and grass," replied Gracie. "I need the corn at this time of the year, and the ducks don't leave me much anyway. I have finished for now, and I'm going to fly off for the day to find some grass to eat." Gracie thanked him politely, but was thinking to herself, "I hope you don't come back." The geese then made an awful noise and took off over the heads of the ducks, who scattered to the far sides of the lake. Gracie managed to eat a few grains of corn before the ducks, who had been watching from the far side of the lake and were now scattered, came to eat what was left of the corn, as they had been keeping well out of the way of the geese. The rest of the residents of the lake began to come out of their hiding, as they were still very nervous of the newcomers. Gracie and the moorhens were now swimming around on the lake, and before disappearing under the shelter of the trees at the far side of the lake. As the days at this time of the year are short of daylight, the geese returned late in the afternoon, making their usual noisy approach. The moorhens, who had come out from under the trees for an evening swim before dark, suddenly panicked and flew out of the way of the geese who were landing on the lake. Gracie took off towards the far end of the lake and almost hit Bushy-tailed the squirrel, who was moving across the trees, having visited the peanuts that had been hung on the tree for the birds. "Watch where you're flying, Gracie!" exclaimed Fred, as Gracie's wing just missed his nose. "You're a danger to be around," shouted Bushy-tail, as he hastened home for the night. "Sorry, Bushy-tail," said Gracie. "Those geese startled me and almost landed on top of me. I've never been so frightened in my life. I thought my feathers would drop out." "You knocked me out of the tree. I will be the one pulling your feathers out," shouted Bushy-tail back at Gracie. "All I want to do is get some rest," replied Gracie, still suffering from shock. With that, Gracie and the moorhens settled down for the night.